You look down at your wrist, and your favorite watch has stopped ticking. Immediately, the anxiety sets in. Who do you trust to open the case? And how long are you going to be without it? The industry heavily pushes a very specific answer to that question. They tell you that if you don't send your timepiece back to the brand's official headquarters, you risk getting fake parts, sloppy workmanship, and a ruined movement. It's an effective pitch. The factory promises a return to absolute mechanical perfection, handled entirely in-house by the brand that built it. But then you send it off to an authorized service center, and reality hits. Your daily wear watch vanishes into a corporate void, and you might not see it again for up to half a year. There is a secondary option, the elite independent watchmaker. Deciding which way to go depends on comparing the authorized factory route against top-tier independents to see how they perform on parts quality and actual repair timelines. What you'll find is a strict trade-off between navigating a massive corporate bureaucracy and relying on agile, bespoke precision. Let's step out of the corporate headquarters and look at the independent artisan's workbench. The biggest fear keeping owners tied to the factory is parts. The assumption is that any independent shop has to rely on generic, aftermarket, or even counterfeit components. The reality is that the top tier of independent watchmakers hold active, brand-certified parts accounts. Watchmakers who earn SAWTA and CW21 certifications have a direct pipeline to order parts from major manufacturers like Rolex and the Swatch Group. This flowchart shows how the supply chain actually works. There is a central pool of components at the factory, and two identical pipelines draw directly from it. One feeds the Authorized Service Center, and the other feeds the certified independent. They order the exact same mainsprings, wheels, and crystals. The difference is the communication structure. On the independent side, you get those same factory-correct components, but with a direct line of contact to the specific person who is actually holding the tweezers. Verifying a watchmaker's certification eliminates the fear of fake parts entirely. You secure factory-grade mechanics completely outside the corporate bubble. For vintage collectors, the priorities shift. Absolute mechanical function takes a backseat to preserving the physical history of the object. Take a look at the diverse aged dials and hands on these gold watches. That aging, the patina, is exactly what collectors want to protect. If you send an iconic watch from the 1960s or 70s to an authorized service center, it runs straight into their standardization policy. Their mandate is to return the watch to a like-new state. To achieve that, factories frequently discard original, aged dials and hands, replacing them with shiny new stock. That process erases the patina and tanks the watch's historical character. Master independents take the opposite approach. Many have spent decades buying out the inventories of retiring watchmakers, creating a time capsule of new old stock parts that no longer exist in the factory. They apply an intense, specialized focus to maintaining a watch's exact original condition, meticulously matching era-correct components to the original build. And if a specific component is entirely extinct, a master independent can mount raw metal to a watchmaker's lathe and hand fabricate the piece from scratch. Standard factory workers are rarely trained for that level of bespoke engineering. For a vintage piece, the factory's safety net actively damages collector resale value. If you want to preserve history, an independent specialist is mandatory. But what if you own a modern watch, and your main issue is simply the agonizing lack of speed? When you mail a watch to an authorized service center, it does not go to a workbench. It enters a massive corporate logistics chain. This timeline illustrates the delay. First, you lose 1 to 2 weeks entirely to shipping and basic verification. Then, you wait another 2 to 3 weeks just for the center to generate a quote for the work. Finally, it hits the batching system. Factories wait to process specific calibers in groups, so your watch might sit idle in a safe for a full month before anyone even unscrews the case back. An elite independent bypasses this completely. Intake is instant. Estimates are provided within 48 hours, and the watch moves straight into active repair. The raw data confirms the difference. A complete overhaul at an authorized service center averages 16 to 24 weeks. At an independent, it takes just 4 to 6 weeks. The premium wait time you endure with a factory service is a byproduct of a slow holding pattern. You are waiting on bureaucracy, not superior mechanical work. The idea that the factory is your only safe option is a corporate myth designed for mass logistics, not individual consumer efficiency. Making the right choice depends entirely on matching the physical profile of your specific watch with your own personal risk tolerance. This decision tree maps the paths. The first split depends on the watch type, modern or vintage. If your watch is modern, under warranty, and you prioritize corporate liability, follow the top branch to the Authorized Service Center. If you own a vintage watch, remember the standardization policy. Submitting it to the factory erases its historical patina. To preserve financial value and original parts, you must follow this path directly to a certified independent. Finally, if you have an out-of-warranty modern watch and need reliable speed, finding a highly rated independent pays off immediately. You secure genuine parts and pressure testing, but skip the 6-month bureaucratic wait entirely. Protecting a watch's legacy and your own schedule requires a strategic choice about who actually performs the work.